Fill your bowl to the brim and it will spill. Keep sharpening your knife and it will blunt. Chase after money and security and your heart will never unclench. Care about people's approval and you will be their prisoner. Do your work, then step back. It's the only path to serenity.
Welcome to the Strength Connection podcast, a show to share stories, insights, and experiences in strength, physically, mentally, and spiritually. I'm Michael Kurkowski, host of the Strength Connection, and I'm so grateful that you can join me today. So in these episodes, I connect with some of the most inspiring and successful individuals to chop it up and learn from true life experiences that have helped them become who they are, the strongest versions of themselves. One of the greatest ways I've always learned the most important lessons is through stories. We all have them, and they make us who we are. So let's dive in. Here we go.
What's up, my friend? Welcome to the Strength Connection podcast. I'm your host, Michael Kurkowski. This is a solo episode. It's me and you today. So hopefully the new year is going great for you. I think this is the first solo episode I'm doing in 2024. If you didn't get a chance to dive back into the 14 lessons of connection, I did that at the end of the year. Please go back and check that out. This was a special one. I just dove into some of the biggest lessons that I learned from guests on this show over the past year. It was truly an unbelievable year with some guests, some absolutely incredible conversations I'm so grateful for. And these are some lessons that were not just, I said, good ideas, but things that I've implemented into my life or really just started putting into practice right away. And they've made a huge impact on my life just on a day-by-day basis. So for this episode, I wanted to dive into a personal story with you, a little bit about a feeling, kind of the emotions that I had around starting this year off. And I share this because one, this is my real life and what's going on with me specifically in strength, but also two, it might be something that resonates with you about where you are, specifically if you had a goal that maybe you didn't achieve in full. Maybe you're beating yourself up for it, or you haven't fully got to succeed in what you want to, and you're really pondering like what to do in this moment. Maybe you're at a loss a little bit about what are the steps, and maybe you put good effort for it, but you felt like you left stuff on the table. Can all be in that mode. Maybe you're in it right now, or maybe you've been in it in the past, but this was a state of mind that I found myself in for the last really couple weeks of December. I realized that the time at the end of 2023, there was some goals that I set out for myself over the last 90 days and really the last year that I knew I was not going to meet. These were things that I fully expected to do, that I put forth effort on, but I didn't achieve them. And this really put me into a bit of a self-criticism, self-judgment spiral where I kind of had this melancholy I felt about me. Even some of my family and friends kind of said a similar thing to me. And it was just this mode where I felt like I left so much on the table. Maybe I was just doing things that I was comfortable doing, not pushing out of my comfort zone to really elevate into the potential that I felt like I had of getting in. And it was hard to get out of that. And honestly, it kind of even just trickled into the first couple weeks of 2024. It's not this last year was the warm up, this year, is the sequel. I'm going to crush it, all those cliches and stuff like that. No, I kind of just went in a little bit of a step-by-step mode, still feeling a little bit of this self-judgment creeping in on an everyday basis. And I was really kind of not concerned, but I was just trying to figure out how to get out of this mode. And so one thing I did is I was just kind of looking at it objectively, and I was going in to write in a journal about this. And what I decided to do was just kind of like a spur of the moment thought was to go into this one journal that I got. Okay. And I called this my victory journal. If you're watching this, you can see it here. But this was a journal I got last year as a birthday gift. And I wrote on the front victory, and each day I would go in at the end of the day, and this was just write down what went good for that day. What did I accomplish? What did I achieve? And just maybe a couple of thoughts here and there. Usually no more than a 3/4 of a page or a page. And almost serendipitously, I don't know if the company that made this journal made it about 365 pages, but actually completed the last page on January 1st of this year. So it was really one full year of this journal in here. So I just decided to go in and just flip through these pages, honestly, trying to look for things that maybe I missed, things that maybe I dropped the ball on and stuff. And then I realized as I was going through it, and I started from back at the beginning of last year and then going into the, middle and into the end of this year, I had victories and I had achievements and things that I put into place that I completely forgot about happened over the last year. Connections that I made, seminars that I put together, different reach outs that I did, different opportunities that I got from guests on the podcast, all these little things that I did on a day by day basis. So many of them I forgot about. And some of these I didn't even recognize were victories when I was in this state of self-judgment because these specific markers, these specific numbers that I didn't achieve and didn't hit, that was the only thing I was focusing on. And I realized that all I was doing is I had an expectation of what I wanted to happen, which is external. It's not something I could control. And I wasn't realizing that there were so many daily things that I was doing each step by step that have paved so many good things for me that I'm doing to this day now. And I didn't even realize that it all happened last year from this time. So the point behind this is one is I've spoken before about it, but taking moments and taking time each day to ponder and focus on what good happened. What were the small daily victories that happen on a day by day basis? Could be small things of just got a workout done when I didn't feel like it, or I, was going to stop by and get fast food because I was hungry, but no, I waited until I ate my meal prep food, or I made these connections and reach outs, or I didn't blow up at somebody who was criticizing me. Whatever it is, all those small little things, they do add up into an exponential increase in value overall in your life. And the reason why you write it down is because you're going to forget most of them. I did. I forgot most of them that happened during this year, but I realized how much stuff actually happened last year that showed that I was working on this every single day. And that was a way that I got out of it and got out of that mindset. I realized that for a lot of that time as I was focusing in, I was trying to chase specific success. I was trying to bring things down and to push things past what was beyond my control. And that brought me into another thing that I go to a lot besides journaling as I went to the Tao Te Ching and I read the Tao. And I wanted to share verse 9 on this podcast with you here because I think it's really prevalent. So it's fill your bowl to the brim and it will spill. Keep sharpening your knife and it will blunt. Chase after money and security and your heart will never unclench. Care about people's approval and you will be their prisoner. Do your work, then step back. It's the only path to serenity. And there's a lot of wisdom in that. But the thing that really struck on me that was big was that last line is the only path to serenity. And anytime I hear the path to, the initial thought I always think of is success. Okay, what's the path to success? And how many times do we hear that over and over again? Where success is always something that we take, and serenity is a very different word. And it's something that creates peace in our mind. And that's something that I've spoken about a lot and I'll continuously share is because I remember Joel Cochran was on the podcast and we talked about this a lot. It's like the two things, if you can give to somebody, will help them move mountains. And that's peace of mind and that's self-confidence. And I think that's why I talk about a lot of this stuff, even specifically with my clientele. I don't harp and go details into tactics and strategies, the best way to do this exercise for this. And I'm a strength coach. I love going into those things, but I don't speak about it as much because I don't think it's that important. I think the execution of doing these things on a day by day basis and chasing things like serenity and mastery is much better than trying to elevate and trying to chase this level of success or money. So that's what I wanted to share on this podcast with you. So at the beginning of this year, if you haven't done it yet, my encouragement and I hate the word advice on this because I'm not here to give advice, but I would challenge you to write down your daily wins and do it for a year, and then at the end of the year, go back and look at every single day and see all the little things that went well for it. Not only will you be shocked by the things that you forget about that you did that were well, but it also helps actually transform your brain into recognizing the positive things versus the negative things. Now, again, for my example, it doesn't mean you're going to be immune to having moments of self-criticism and self-judgment. I'm sure that's always going to come up in pieces, but the more you work on it, the more you know how to get out of it and then get into that state of mind of peace, of serenity that you're hopefully aiming for at each time. So on that, let's close this out here. Thank you so much for listening. Hopefully this resonates with you as well, and you'll start going into your daily victories too. So got some really exciting guests that are coming on the podcast soon. Excited to share on this journey with you going forward into 2024. And all right, we'll go from there. Much love. and have a great one. Peace.
Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you found some great value here. And if you like this episode, please drop a comment and leave us a 5-star rating and review. It does more to build the show than you can imagine. And do not forget to check out and join the Strength Connection Facebook group. In this group, I share the biggest takeaways and lessons from these amazing conversations, as well as training and strength tips for pursuing mastery and fulfillment in life. This group is filled with individuals looking to take full control over their strength, and it's the perfect space to explore new ideas and to share your journey. And you'll also get exclusive access to these Strength Connection Mastery Seminars. It's a deep dive into the physical, mental, and spiritual training that you can begin using immediately. So do not wait, go now. Seriously, go. All right, much love to you. Thank you so much, and I'll catch you on the next one.